welcome to our channel Anko Chorcha. We are coming to our part 3 video learning design of mathematics. Learning design mathematics number 31. The previous video we completed 1 to 30 learning design in 2 parts. Now it's our part 3 video learning design mathematics 31 number. So here we see that 31 learning design, today's lesson, subunit limit. Name of the school, class 12, duration 45 minutes. So what is the learning goals or objective? Remembering, understanding, applying, evaluating, creating, analyze learners and context. To know about the student level of proficiency is determining comprehension and speaking, and to the attention their entry level behavior and etc. Following type of question will be asked by the teacher. What do you know about the function etc. Developed and select learning materials, textbooks, chart, learning teaching material. Learning strategies, there are 2 parts divided, learning areas and related strategies. Now we see there are many strategies or steps are described here. Design for evaluation worksheet. The following question will be given to the student, evaluate their progress. Diagnose the weakness for remedial class if any. If teacher find out any weakness of the student about this topic on the basis of above worksheet, then the teacher will guide them and take remedial class for them. Next, learning design 31. This we describe. There are double. Learning design 32. Today's lesson, closure properly of addition. Learning goals or objective, remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating. Analyze learners and context. Question will be asked to the student prior knowledge about the lesson to be taught. Develop and select learning materials. General learning material, specific learning materials. Learning strategies. There are 2 parts, learning areas and related strategies. Design for evaluation, evaluate. There are some hazy, you will see to zoom in the video. Diagnosing the weakness for remedial class if any. Learning design 33. Today's lesson, area of square. Learning goals, remembering, student will be able to understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating. Analyze learner and context. Question will be asked to the student for testing their prior knowledge, that's the previous knowledge question. Developed and select learning materials. There are 2 types, general and specific. Learning strategies, brief concept, related strategies. Demonstration method, problem solving method. Design for evaluation, there are some questions. What is the forms of area of square? Diagnosing the weakness for remedial class if any. No weakness is found, that is why no remedial class is allotted for this topic. Learning design 34. Today's lesson, concept of graph. Learning goals or objectives, remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating. Analyze learner and context. What is a plane surface? Is the blackboard a plain surface? There are some questions. Developed and select learning materials if any. There are two types, general or specific. Learning strategies, there are two parts, brief content and related strategy. Principle of graph. Design for evaluation. What do you mean by the origin of graph? There are some other questions. Diagnosing the weakness for remedial class if any. There are specific weakness of the learner will be identified through continuous evaluation and if necessary arrange remedial classes. Learning design 35. Today's lesson, characteristics of frequency distribution. Learning goals or objective, remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating. Analyzing learner and context, what is the tabular representation and some question or others. Developed and select learning material, there are two types, general and specific. Learning strategy, there are two types, grip concept and related strategies. Conceptual frequency distribution table, structure of frequency distribution table. A design for evaluation, there are some questions. Diagnosing the weakness for remedial class if any. Learning design 36. Today's lesson, natural number. Learning goals or objectives, remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating. Analyzing learner and context, students are expected to write the numeral number and whole number and some others. Developed and select learning material, there are two types, general and specific. Learning strategic are two part, extended form, formation of last and greatest number, Indian and international system of writing numbers. Design for evaluation, there are some questions. Diagnosing the weakness for remedial class if any. Learning design number 37. Today's lesson, area of a rectangle. Learning goals or objective, remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating. Analyzing learners and context, there are two types, general and specific. Developed and select materials. Learning strategic, two parts, brief content and related strategy, area of rectangle, properties of rectangle, solution of finding area of rectangle. Design for evaluation, define rectangle, write the formula of area of rectangle, write any two properties of rectangle. And lastly, diagnosing weakness for remedial classes if any. Learning design number 38. Today's lesson, formula related of cubes. Learning goals or objective, remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating. Analyze learner and context. What is the formula of a plus b whole cube and many other questions. Developed and select learning materials if any, general or specific. General means blackboard, chalk, duster. Specific, mathematics book selected by WBBSE for class 8. Design for evaluation, there are some questions to design for evaluating. And lastly, diagnosing the weakness for remedial classes if any. Learning design 39. Today's lesson, types of algebraic expression. Learning goals or objective, remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating. Analyze learner and context. Developed and select learning materials if any, there are two types, general or specific. Learning strategies are two part, brief context and related strategy. Design for evaluation. Diagnosing weakness for remedial classes, if any. Learning design 40. Today's lesson: learning goals or objective, remembering, understanding, application, remembering, understanding, application, evaluating, creating, analyzing. To analyze learner and context, develop and select learning materials, learning strategies, two type: brief context and related strategies, lecture method, demonstrational method, experimental method, design for evaluation. There are some questions. Diagnosing the weakness for remedial class. Learning design 41. Today's lesson: construction of pie diagram. Learning goals or objective: remembering, student will be able to; understanding, applying, student will be able to apply; analyzing, evaluating, creating. Analyze learner and context. What is the frequency, a distribution table, and some other questions. Develop and select learning materials, general or specific. There are two types: learning strategies, a brief concept and related strategy, concept of pie diagram. Design for evaluation. There are some questions. Diagnosing the weakness of remedial classes, if any. Learning design 42. Today's lesson: types of fraction. Learning goals or objective: remembering, understanding, analyzing, evaluating, creating, analyze learner and context to know about the student level of proficiency in listening, comprehension and speaking, and to accretion entry level behavior. It comes to the present context. The following type of questions will be asked by the teacher. There are some questions will be asked. Develop and select learning materials, general or specific. General: blackboard, duster, textbook. Specifics: learning strategies, two type: brief context or related strategies. Type of fraction: identification of fraction, reduction fraction in a lowest form, like and unlike fraction, comprehension of fraction. Design for evaluation. There are some questions. Diagnosing the weakness for remedial class, if any. Learning design 43. Today's lesson: opposite angle of the quadrilateral are supplementary. Learning goals: remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating, analyze learner and context. There are some questions are asked. Developed and select learning materials, textbooks and teaching aids. Here are some blackboard works. Learning strategies, learning areas and related strategies. Design for evaluation, there are some questions are added. Diagnosing the weakness for remedial class if any. No weakness found after evaluating of the student, no remedial classes needed. Learning design 44. Today's lesson, perimeter and area of a circle. Learning goals, remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating, there are some blackboard work, circle, analyze learner and context, there are following question will be asked. Developed and select learning materials, textbook and teaching aids, there are some blackboard works. Learning strategies, learning areas and related strategies. Design for evaluation, here some question will be asked to the student. Metacognitive knowledge level question. Diagnosing the weakness for remedial classes if any. Learning design number 45. Today's lesson, area of segment. Learning goals, remembering, understanding, applying, evaluating, factual knowledge level question, analyzing learner and context. The following questions are asked to the student. Developed and select learning materials, textbooks and teaching aids. Some blackboard works, area of segment. Learning strategies, there are two parts, learning areas and related strategies. Design for evaluation, there are some questions. Diagnosing the weakness for remedial classes. Thank you all of you. Next 15 learning design will be next part. Thank you. Hey viewers, welcome to our channel Anko Chorcha. We are coming to our part 4 video, learning design mathematics, learning design number 46. So learning design number 46, today's lesson, area of triangles on same base and between two parallel. Learning goals, remembering, understanding, understanding, applying, evaluating, procedural knowledge, analyze learner and context. The following questions are asked to the student. Developed and select learning materials to textbook and teaching aid. Here some blackboard work, area of triangles on same base and between two parallels. Learning strategies are two part, learning areas and related strategies. Design for evaluation, here some question are design. Diagnosing the weakness for remedial classes, if any. According to the evaluation, the following weakness was found in the student. Application of the problem. Next, learning design number 47. Today's lesson. Areas of parallelograms on same base and between two parallels. Learning goals: remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, creating. Analyze, learner and context. The following questions are asked to the student. Develop and select learning material, textbooks and teaching aids. Here some blackboard work. Area of parallelograms between same base and same parallels. Learning strategies are two-part: learning areas and related strategies. Design for evaluation. Some questions are written to design. Diagnosing the weakness for remedial classes, if any. Now we discuss learning design number 48. Today's lesson: area, parallelograms and triangle on same base and between two parallels. Learning goals: remembering, understanding, applying, evaluating. Analyze, learner and context. The following questions are asked to the student. Develop and select learning materials, textbooks and teaching aids. Here some blackboard work. Learning strategies, two parts: learning areas and related strategies. Design for evaluation. There are some questions at design. Diagnosing the weakness for remedial classes, if any. Now we coming to our learning design number 49. Today's lesson: angle sum property of a quadrilateral. Learning goals: remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating. Analyze, learner and context. There are some questions. Develop and select learning materials, textbooks and teaching aids. Textbook of mathematics, teaching aids, chalk, duster and scale. Here some we see blackboard work. Learning strategy are two parts: learning areas and related strategies. Design for evaluation. Here some question are designed for evaluating. Applying based and analyzing based question. Diagnosing the weakness for remedial classes, if any. According to the evaluation, the weakness of student are following: disability of measuring accurate angles. Now we coming to our learning design number 50. Today's lesson: mark subunit, the sum of either pair of opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral in 180 degree. Learning goals or objectives: remembering, understanding, applying. Learning goals or objective: analyzing, evaluating, creating. Analyze, learner and context. There are some question are analyze. Next point, developed and select learning materials, general and specific. General with the textbook, ruler, compass, chalk, duster. Specific chart models. Learning strategies, learning areas, related strategies. Next point is design for evaluation, worksheet. Some question are designed for evaluating. Last point, diagnosing the weakness for remedial class if any. Here some references. Thank you all of you. This is our full video to learning design mathematics. Thank you all of you. See you soon.
তো তোমরা আমাদের চ্যানেলের প্লেলিস্ট থেকে অন্যান্য যে প্র্যাকটিকামগুলো রয়েছে সেগুলো পেয়ে যাবে এবং আমাদের চ্যানেলটিকে অবশ্যই সাবস্ক্রাইব করে রাখবে। তো চলো শুরু করা যাক আমাদের আজকের ভিডিও।